Yes, you win. And of all of the things that you could say on the 250th anniversary of America, the first UFC fight on the White House lawn, you win. And what's the first thing that you can think about is Michelle Obama's a man. But then watching on social media how many people are like championing this shit, it comes off very, very stupid, young. I just start to ask the question of why is this the thing that's the party? What the fuck does, if Michelle Obama being a man, what does it have to do with anything? What does it do for your life? What does it do for catching Epstein clients? What does it do for ending the Department of Education? What does it have to do for ending income tax, ending property tax, ending all of the hundreds of licenses that we have to actually like do anything in supposedly the land of the free? What does talking about Michelle Obama being a fucking man, what does that have to do with anything? How does that limit government? How does that secure the United States dollar, which has lost 96% of its spending power since the creation of the Federal Reserve? How does this audit Fort Knox? How do we cut down on fucking massive spending? If Michelle Obama is actually a man and we get to the bottom of this, does this stop us from getting into yet another Middle Eastern conflict? Does it stop us from having to spend the $300 billion that is alleged to have to be costing to rebuild Iran when we didn't have to even be there in the fucking first place? Tell me how this helps everyday average Americans. And I get incensed by this because no one seems to have a fucking answer for it. And on top of not having an answer for it, it reminds me of when leftists, whenever I talk about pro-gun shit and firearms, and it's not the Bill of Needs, it's the Bill of Rights, and they go, oh, you only have all of those guns because you got a small dick. And I start going, yo, why are you even putting those two together? What the fuck is happening? So when I see my side do the same thing, I got the same fucking questions because maybe I'm missing it. And if Obama's a terrorist and he's bombed more countries than anybody and all of this other shit, right? When is any of these administrations that follow, when it's supposed to be the other side, right? The Republicans. They got the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. When are they going to hold Fauci accountable for his deaths and lying, gain of function research, and the NIH? And when is all of that shit going to get handled by this administration that had a great event and a spectacle on the White House lawn, but nothing's changed? And it's actually gotten worse. There's more spending than the Biden administration did. We're in another war. Even though you said, I'm not going to fucking do a war. You don't have any of the Epstein client list. So when are you going to get off of the dick? Since we're talking about dicks. When you gonna get off the government's dick when it's just your flavor or color of boot? Tell me how this makes you look like the principled man. Tell me how this actually limits government and gets our economy back on track. Tell me how massively getting behind the push to get rid of one of the more principled people in Congress, Thomas Massie, tell me how that changed things. Tell me how this has helped your gas prices. Tell me how this has helped your egg prices. Tell me how this has helped the average American purchase a home. Tell me how this fucking helps the quality of life of Americans, and I'll get in on the joke with you.